White people keep saying that this is a Christian nation. And yes, I know what color I am. So let's talk about this great Christian nation, shall we? Slavery, Jim Crow, genocide of Native Americans, the Trail of Tears, Wounded Knee, the Middle Passage, where 1.4 million African Americans died, Asian internment camps, racial profiling, selling black people through chattel slavery, lynchings, black people couldn't worship in the same church, women couldn't vote till the 20s, couldn't have credit until the 60s, no fault divorce until the 80s. So for you white Pharisees out there, what exactly was this a great Christian nation? Because my understanding of God as a person of faith who was named after Saul of Tarsus was that we are all created in the equal in the sight of God. So why was it that these great Christian founding fathers, A, owned black people like pets and livestock, B, created the 3/5 clause that mean that black people were only worth 3/5 of a human being? Why didn't they have the right to vote? Why did every law in this country only benefit 21-year-old landowning white men in this great Christian nation? How many white people do we see run around with their stupid 1776 patriot bullshit? God-given right is the Second Amendment. Did God write the Second Amendment? Did God write the Constitution? No. Racist slave owners did. But this is why white people are so ignorant that voted for this orange antichrist. Because they don't want to admit actual history. They want white history. See, it didn't affect them. Their parents weren't put in somebody's will as property to pass down to the next generation. Their grandparents weren't in a tree or in segregation or had to fight for equality. So they don't give a damn. They just want to walk around like this. Freedom, freedom, guns, guns, freedom, freedom. We're the best. There was 50 million Native Americans originally on this land. By 1900, there were somewhere around 200,000. Why? The white man. All these atrocities, Jim Crow, segregation, Wounded Knee, white men. Ahmaud Arbery, 3 white men. January 6th, 3 white men. The guy in the White House now that wears orange makeup, a white man. Who murdered George Floyd? A white man. 98% of gun violence in this country are men. Almost all of them. And the vast majority are U.S. citizens, white men. But what do we do as a society, right? We take a little needle in the haystack and find a way for the white man to be the victim. Lincoln Riley, oh, look at this one. It's awful what happened to her, but you know what? 43,000 other people died that year. But why? Because it was a white girl and a brown person. Did you hear them say anything about Ahmaud Arbery or George Floyd? Not a damn thing. But a racist podcaster who said the blacks are taking the whites' jobs, who enforced their fear of the white majority going away, he's a hero and he's a patriot. That's why we're here, my friends. This has never been a Christian nation. And if this is a Christian nation, then I don't want any part of it. Where was the empathy, the compassion, the kindness, viewing everybody as equal? Because the fact is, and I'm going to keep saying it, part of this country couldn't stomach a black man in the White House instead of picking their cotton. And they saw their white Jesus Christianity slipping away, and it scares the hell out of them. It's the facts. They're taking the slavery out of the Smithsonian. Why? Oh, CRT, DEI. Oh, is the pilot black? How do I know that they're qualified? Do you hear that about white pilots? No. Giving medals to the soldiers that murdered 250 women and children on Wounded Knee? Women and children. But what does the alcoholic Pete Hegseth do? He honors them because they're the white man. What do we do when a man rapes women and is a felon and molests little children? We make him president because he's a white man. And LBJ said it right. This country will vote for the most morally bankrupt piece of garbage, rapist, felon, pedophile that's picking your wallet over the most qualified black woman. This country would rather suffer under a white man than thrive under a black woman. That's just a fact. And somebody left me a comment a couple days ago asking, and I think it was a genuine question, Paul, do you not like your white race, your white culture? What culture? I'm white. Okay. Our entire culture in this country has been crapping on everybody that's not white. Women, gay people, trans people, sure as hell, Native Americans, black brothers and sisters. Anybody that's not white has been treated less than. I'm just white, okay? What I'm saying is our white culture is just tearing other people down. That's it. That's historically what the white man has done. And I am sickened by that. I believe we're supposed to love thy neighbor as thyself, that we're all made equal. We should all start from the same starting line. And for too long in this country, a chunk of white people have said, God, Jesus, guns, God, Jesus, freedom, freedom, all this bullshit. All these talking points to make white people feel good about the atrocities that have happened in this country. And I'm sick of it. And it has to change. Black people have been fighting for this for generations. But we're the problem, it's us. And that's all that I'm doing here, is saying that we're the problem and we need to take a hard look and say, when are we going to speak up? Because too many white people are unwilling to be uncomfortable. Even now, when you look at something like the No Kings protest, what did you see? A whole 7 million people out of 330 million people. That's it. And you hear every excuse from white people why they can't be uncomfortable. Go on a general strike. I have to work. I can't afford to. Okay, go protest. Well, I got a baseball game. Go post on Facebook. I don't want to upset Uncle Bob. And see, that's the problem. White people are unwilling to be uncomfortable. Black people don't have that luxury. They don't have the luxury to put a blue bracelet on and take it off when they're uncomfortable. People look at them differently. They call them the N-word. Black people have to give the talk with their kids. They get pulled over. They don't get jobs. They get paid less. Their houses were redlined. They don't have that luxury. Until white people are willing to be uncomfortable, nothing is going to change. Because we're the problem. It's us, in the words of Taylor Swift. We are the problem with this country. Every atrocity that I mentioned was white people. Primarily white men. Did you see the anger on January 6th? Pissed off, angry white men just because they didn't like the results of an election. But when John Lewis just wants to vote to have the same rights as a white man, what happens? White people almost beat him to death. Martin Luther King just wanted to be equal as a white man. And what happened? They put bombs on his porch. Christians, the KKK, ran by pastors and sheriffs, white, because they, this great Christian nation. 45,000 people on average die from gun violence. Nothing to see here in this great pro-life Christian nation. But if there's a transgender in college sports, it's a bridge too far. This is their version of Christianity. It's not. It is white Jesus religion. That is it. It is focused around flags and bald eagles and guns. Jesus was compassionate, kind, caring, empathetic. You think Jesus would have been okay with slavery? No. It has to change. And it has to be my demographic. So for the person that asked me that question, no, I don't hate being white. I hate what white people have done to everybody else. And if you don't think that I get threats every day, I do. I don't give a damn. You don't think that I've lost friends and family? I don't care. Because we have two options as white people. You can be an ally or you can be a fair-weathered friend. There was a lady on TikTok, and I'm not going to mention her name because I don't like to dox people when it comes to that. And she preached it. She was a former MAGA. And she preached it from the rooftop. And the moment she got some nasty messages, she jumped ship when the turbulence came. That's a fair-weathered friend. You want to be in this, you want to change, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Exactly how black brothers and sisters are being treated. That is the only way this happens. And I haven't seen enough people that are willing to do that. Even now, with everything going on in this country, what do you see? Oh, Karen, traffic's really bad in high school. Oh, Cindy, it is awful, but you're so brave for speaking up. That is white fucking privilege. It is. It's white privilege because you have the privilege to ignore it. You're not being racially profiled. Your brother or sister or friend isn't in an ICE detention facility. You're not being discriminated against. That is privilege. And white privilege has nothing to do with your economic status. It's how you're treated and how you're viewed based on what you look like. So no, as a person of faith who was named after Paul, this is not a Christian nation, and nor should it be, because we all have free will. Just like the 10 Commandments shouldn't be posted in schools. You have the free will to believe in God and not believe in God. And maybe, and I'm just spitballing here, maybe if more people like me actually try to follow Jesus, and God knows that I'm not perfect. But what I'm not going to do is sit by while people are harmed and call myself a Christian, because faith without works is dead. And you could modify that and say faith without works is religion. Because that's what a lot of these white people do. They run around and wave crosses and wave Bibles. That is religion, not faith. Faith is what you do. Religion is something that you say. This is being a person of faith. It's standing on business and standing up for our black brothers and sisters and women and children and gun violence. That is what I believe a person of faith is. Have a good day.